Hello my friends and welcome again. Let's go to check the situation in the Bakhmut city and Bakhmut suburbs. We have the update of the military map, so it was yesterday and it is today. As you can see, Russia took more quarters of the city. The map is a little bit late with updates, so I'm sure that they've taken all of the Bakhmut city. And I know that Ukrainian army left their positions and now we move to Ivanovsk. Still, Ukrainian officials do not confirm that, but President Zelensky initially on G7 meeting today said that probably Bakhmut is gone, but later on in a few hours he said that Bakhmut still holds. But honestly, my friends, if there is just one building left, it doesn't mean that Ukraine keeps control over the city. The city is occupied right now, temporarily, by the Russian forces or Wagner forces. In 4 days, Wagner's promised to leave that city for the regular Russian army forces, and in that case, I think we're gonna move forward trying to encircle the city. I remember the same story in Soledar, then Russians took it, and for quite a long time, maybe 1 week, Ukrainian officials continued to say that we still keep that town under the control. But no, and here I may say that we lost the Bakhmut city, but again it's temporary. Our counteroffensive operation says that the battle for Bakhmut is not over. There is no map update from the Ukrainian assault operation today, but from the information I got, the 3rd Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian forces liberated around 700 meters of the land. I guess it happened on the south part from the Bakhmut city, somewhere over here. There were several videos that I cannot show you on this platform. For that, please check out my Telegram channel, and I constantly on my Telegram group sharing the most important information throughout the day. So today there were 7 or even 8 posts about the situation around Ukraine. Why do I think that the advancement happened somewhere here or maybe in this area? Because our guys from the 3rd Assault Brigade said that they continue to fight against the 72nd Russian Brigade. And that Russian brigade is based in Klishivka together with Wagner forces. That is why we should expect the positive military map update tomorrow. If we take Klishivka, it will be a devastation for the Russian army. In that case, we're gonna go to Opatne. It would be hard to get Opatne back under our control, but in that case, Russia has the natural obstacle, the Bakhmutka river in that area, and we don't have those obstacles. So from Klishivka, we may advance into 2 of the directions. On the north, the situation is not that good compared to the south. Still, we're not able to get the crucial heights over here, the high hills that would guarantee the surveillance of the Bakhmut city for the Ukrainian army. Speaking from the terrain, it's more complicated to get Berhivka and Yahidne under the control, but we should do it. President Biden today spoke about the Bakhmut city. He says it doesn't matter if Russia takes that city under their control, still they lost around 100,000 personnel out there, soldiers and other troops. Well, a few days ago I heard the figure of 70,000 soldiers. Prigozhin, the leader of Wagner group, confirms that they've lost tens of thousands soldiers in Bakhmut. Saying so, he blames Shoigu and Gerasimov for severe losses, because they didn't have enough supplies in ammunition, especially artillery shells. That's why they thrown their infantry straight forward on the Ukrainian defense positions. Probably Bakhmut could be one of the useless assault operation goal in the military history. And as I say to you, it could become the Stalingrad for the Russian army, in case Ukrainian army would get to those positions and encircle the Russian army in that city that they were able to take. Indeed, it looks like a big trap for the Russian or the Wagner army. The problem for now that Ukrainian army advances very slowly. For this operation we need to advance much faster. Probably we still don't use the full force in that area because we prepare for the future counterattack in other place. And as Ukrainian officials say, this counter-advancement in Bakhmut is the opening the door for the future big counterattack. Well, the spring ends in 9 days, so we have the time for the spring campaign to start the advancement, because it was announced for the springtime. And here we have the tactical map. It's a little bit late, so according to the deep state and according to the information with videos and photos coming from the Bakhmut city, Russians were able to take this part. They've posted the photos with the plane, and the plane location is over here. It's the big monument for the Soviet MiG. As you can see, Ukraine was able to move out the forces. Some of them are still in nearby fields, but mainly we used this road to evacuate our guys from that city. And the good thing that we still have the supply road from Bakhmut through Ivanovsk, and we were able to push Russians a little bit to the south. So what will Wagners do? They will construct the defense lines in that area. They will not move forward. It was announced by Prigozhin. They don't have resource for that. So what they do right now is the design job of their rat trap. Hopefully it will be like that. And I do not expect that Ukrainian army will go on the south just straight to the city. It's the stupid way to do it. It's better to encircle it from two of the sides, and Prigozhin knows about it. He spoke many times about those risks to the Russian command, but they simply do not listen. And it's good for Ukraine. Also, you may see that there are not a lot of the units and battalions left near to the city from the Ukrainian side. Before, there were lots of the units in that area, actually in the city in this place. Now mostly they went to the other sides of the Bakhmut suburbs. Alright, breaking news. The Russian state-of-art Sukhoi Su-35 fighter jet was shot down by the Ukrainian air defense over the Black Sea. Then it tried to drop the gliding bomb. Some resources say that this airplane dropped the bombs and after it was destroyed. So far there are no any photos or videos about that accident with Sukhoi Su-35, but the information is coming from the Russian side as well as from the Ukrainian official side. So for this week, Russia lost the second Sukhoi Su-35 airplane, and practically it's the best airplane they have, the best fighter jet, because Sukhoi Su-57 it's like Armata tank, so it does exist, but it's hard to believe that it may do something on the war field. And still it's not in a serious production compared to Sukhoi Su-35. Many of the countries are buying this fighter jet from the Russian Federation, but now Russia struggles to produce those, and the microchips for that fighter jet they took before from the Western fridges, yes, refrigerators. Attended the front lines today, and he confirms that Ukraine went on the operation to encircle the Bakhmut city. Well, we'll see what will happen from it. The advancement is still exists from the Ukrainian side. The White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan today said that Ukraine should not use the weaponry that it got from the Western countries against the Russia on the Russian territory. But he also adds that Crimea is the sovereign territory of Ukraine, and the United States recognize that. So we are free to go with Storm Shadow rockets or whatever we'll have from the Western allies. Later on, we'll receive the fighter jets. This morning, the fake information just spread around the social media, and unfortunately, I also followed it, so I published this one on my Telegram channel, but later on, I said and confirmed that this is the fake information about the new military package from the United States to supply the LGM-30G rockets to Ukraine. Those are intercontinental ballistic missiles. It has the reference to the CNN, but I checked the CNN resource. There was no information published about the case, and I found out that it's the fake information. So sorry about it. The followers on my Telegram already published that it's the fake information. It's too good to be true. And yes, the information was not about the nuclear warheads. This rocket is also capable to carry the standard explosives. Today, Ukraine, with the help of the Storm Shadow rockets and the HIMARS rocket artillery systems, continue to close the supply lines for the Russian army. For example, Berdyansk was targeted today. There is the big ammunition depot and the command center. After it, the ammunition warehouse just exploded near to Donetsk. As you can see, it's quite far from the front lines, so for sure HIMARS was used for that. One more explosion in Kherson region. So there are lots of the supplies that were hit by the Ukrainian rocket artillery systems or maybe cruise missiles, and from what I can see that we mostly concentrated on this area and also this one in Kherson. So probably during the future counterattack we're gonna move to this direction, and also we're gonna cross the Dnieper river. And I read the article that Ukraine is getting ready, so we are on a training, we have the boat, plus we also have the fast deployable pontoon bridges presented to us by our Western allies. Also you may see that the ammunition depots were hit in Donetsk. It's the big hub for the Russian army, as well as Luhansk over here, and Russia mostly used the ammunition in Donetsk here in Mariupol, and also they use it in Avdiivka. Antonio Guterres finally admitted that the United Nations organization stuck and doesn't conduct its functions. He says that they're very late for events that are happening in the modern day world, and organization was formed a long time ago in 1945, so they have this old regulation and the mindset the organization should be reformed. It's good that finally they say like that. I think they have just too much bureaucracy out there. It would be difficult to reform the Organization of United Nations, so probably there is the possibility for it just to collapse, as it was with the League of Nations. Today on the G7 conference, one of the journalists asked the President Biden whether he recognized the risks that Russia pose in case the United States will send the F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine. It is a colossal risk, and Biden answered, yes, it is for them. He means for Russians. I'm 100% sure that the Russian management is very weak to reply on the shipment of the F-16 fighter jets, and they basically do not have the tools to reply for that. Vladimir Zelensky, as expected, attended the G7 meeting, so he's over there. Just to recall, the G7 was G8 before with Russia. Now Russia is kicked out. Today the Ukrainian flag is presented out there together with Ukrainian president. So maybe it's some sort of the G8 of nowadays. I think that Putin is mad about it. Alright, we now understand that with the pilot training there will be airplanes for Ukraine, F-16s. The Ukrainian Air Force commander Ignat said that Ukraine will receive around 12 up to 18 fighter jets at first, so it will happen the same with the Leopard 2 or Challenger 2 tanks. Yes, we need more, but the beginning is always tough because we need to provide the new supply routes for those airplanes. And why does the F-16 is the best variant from what I see personally? Because it was produced massively. So there are lots of the spare parts, lots of the organizations that may provide some sort of the maintenance for those airplanes, and basically there are more people who are ready to maintain those airplanes abroad. Plus, there are numerous of the modifications of the F-16 fighter jet. If we take the original version and if we'll take the latest version, you'll see the huge difference. So the airplane base is the same, but you may use it for the different purposes. It's a very versatile airplane. But also, I'm waiting for the A-10. My friends, now press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, you may go to the video description just below where you may find some links, for example for my Patreon page, or you may just support me on the sponsorship on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your awesome help and awesome support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.